I gotta tell you, when it comes to shooting, there really isn't any firearm that's more versatile, fun, interesting, adaptable as the AR-15. It's one of the most popular firearms in America, yet it's one of those guns that a lot of folks misunderstand. Today, we're gonna take a look at the AR-15 from a very basic and introductory level. We're gonna talk about how it is that you can enjoy your AR-15 more and get out and shoot it more often and more proficiently. Hey folks, my name is Paul Carlson. I'm the owner of Safety Solutions Academy, and I'm thrilled that you're out here at the range with me today to learn a little bit more about your AR-15. It is one of the most popular firearms in America, and at the same time, it's one of the most misunderstood firearms in the US as well. The AR-15 in many ways is a very simple firearm, yet its operations aren't quite as intuitive as some might like them to be. So we're going to take a look at this AR-15 and break it down to make it as simple as possible for you to operate. First of all, let's talk about the operation of this firearm in general. This is a semi-automatic rifle. What I mean by semi-automatic is each time the trigger is pressed, one round is fired from the gun. It isn't a machine gun, it isn't an assault rifle, it's simply a semi-automatic rifle like so many hunting rifles that are found throughout the United States. Certainly it looks differently, it has a very military look, but at the same time, the cartridge that's fired, the .223 or the .556, is much less powerful than most hunting rifles. And in fact, in most states, it's not legal to hunt big game with this cartridge. It just simply isn't seen as powerful enough to do the job. Let's take a look at how the semi-automatic operation of the AR-15 works. It's that simple. One press of the trigger fires one round. Let's look at it again. Fun to shoot, only a little bit of recoil, fairly lightweight, and incredibly versatile. The semi-automatic AR-15. Now let's take a look at the basic operations of the firearm. The first thing I want to teach you, the first thing I want to show you is how to safely unload this firearm. Notice that when I'm gripping the gun, my finger is someplace other than the trigger. Basic fundamental firearm safety rule. My finger happens to land right on top of the magazine release button. If I simply press that magazine release button, the magazine drops to the ground. Now, the AR-15 is just like any other semi-automatic firearm. It strips a round automatically and puts it into the chamber to be ready to fire another round. So that means if I've been shooting my gun and I drop the magazine, it probably isn't unloaded. I also need to work the action on the gun. If I simply pull the charging handle all the way to the rear on the rifle, it ejects that live round from the chamber, and now I have an unloaded firearm. I'm gonna go ahead and lock the bolt to the rear. I simply am gonna press onto the bolt catch lever on the left-hand side of the gun as I run that charging handle to the rear. And now I have the bolt locked open, and I can visually and physically verify that that firearm is unloaded. Let's take a look. I can see that there's no ammunition in the chamber, and I can also see that there is no magazine inserted into the gun. This is an unloaded firearm. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Let's go ahead and load the gun up, and I'll show you how we unload that firearm one more time. All right, I'm simply going to drop the magazine by pressing the magazine release button. I'm going to work the charging handle. The live round is ejected. I'm then going to reach to the left-hand side of the gun. I'm going to go ahead, press the bolt catch lever, work the charging handle, and lock that bolt to the rear. Then I verify physically and visually to make sure the firearm is unloaded, and I now know that this firearm is unloaded. Pretty cool. Now, let's take a look at how we actually load the gun. I showed it to you, but now I want to run through it and tell you about each step so you can understand the best way to load up that AR-15. When it comes to loading the AR-15, the process is just as simple as unloading. The first thing that I want to do is I want to take my magazine. It's the source of ammunition, and I want to visually inspect it to make sure there's ammunition in it. And what I'm going to note at this point in time is I'm going to note what side the round is on top on this magazine. And you can see in this particular case, this magazine, the round is pushed to the right-hand side of the magazine. I'm going to take and I'm going to firmly insert the magazine up into the magazine well, and then I'm going to give it a tug to make sure that it's seated. My next step is to grab onto the charging handle and go ahead and run that charging handle. I pull it to the rear, and then I simply let go and let the spring do the work. The next step is I want to verify that the firearm has actually loaded properly. I can inspect and see that the bolt is fully closed, and then I'm going to eject the magazine and look. If you'll notice now, the round on the top is located on the left-hand side of the magazine. What does that mean for us? It means that the right-hand side round has been pressed into the chamber and is ready to fire. I'm now going to go ahead and reinsert the magazine, give it a tug to make sure it's seated, and the gun is ready to fire. So let's go ahead and run through that process one more time. I'm going to go ahead and unload the firearm. I drop the magazine to the ground, I run the charging handle, and now I'm going to go ahead and lock the bolt to the rear. I'm now going to take the magazine and visually verify which side of the magazine the round is on top. And I can see it's on the right-hand side. I'm going to run the magazine up into the rifle, give it a tug to make sure it's seated, run the charging handle. Now I'm going to verify that the gun has been loaded by simply removing the magazine. I can see that the round is now on the left-hand side. I'm going to give it a good firm insert, give it a tug to make sure it's seated, and I'm ready to shoot. What a great gun. Simple to unload and verify that it's empty, simple to load and to fire. There's really not much to dislike about the AR-15. You know, a lot of folks over the past few years, and even the past couple of decades, have headed out to their local shop and picked up an AR-15. It's not just because the rifle is light, versatile, and fun to shoot. It's also because there's a lot of folks that are concerned about their right to be able to own this firearm. What bothers me most about that situation is the fact that those rifles are oftentimes just sitting at home in the gun safe and not being used. Folks, I'm going to encourage you, learn a little bit more about your rifle. You can keep in tune with our YouTube channel here and watch for more videos about how to run your AR-15 more efficiently. Or you can head to safetysolutionsacademy.com and check out information that we've got on this outstanding rifle platform right there at our website. Even better yet, you could join us for a live class. Take a look at our Critical Defensive Carbine class. That's right, the AR-15 is a carbine, Critical Defensive Carbine. Do a search for it on the website. Check out when we're going to be at a location near you, and you can join us for some outstanding training. Now folks, get on out there. Get yourself some training. When you do, make sure you keep it simple. Please stay safe, and as always, have a great day.